Hey guys, it is Whitney. Welcome back to my channel. This channel is 100% dedicated to Taylor Swift, so if you like Taylor Swift, you should subscribe because I upload videos every single week. Today I have a fun video planned, which you can obviously tell by the title of this video. I asked you guys on Instagram to give me your unpopular opinions about Midnights, and I'm very excited to read these. If you want to leave me down below your unpopular Midnights opinions, let me know. She should have used jade green for the original cover. So if you don't know, Taylor had 4 cover variants for Midnights: Mahogany, Blood Moon, Moonstone, and Jade Green. Moonstone was like the cover, the one with the lighter. Jade Green was the one laying down, which was a fan favorite. My favorite, I think, too. But I like the original cover for Midnights better. Her best lyrical album. Obviously, we have Folklore and Evermore, which are the best lyrical albums by anyone ever released ever. Speak Now is also up there, but I would say Midnights is like next. Antihero was slightly disappointing. I mean, in the behind the scenes of the song, she acted like it was such an emotional, stripped back confession of her and her life. I do like the lyrics, but the production really doesn't do it justice. I personally don't think it was disappointing at all. It was a shock because I was expecting, from Taylor's description of it, like prior to the album, I was expecting it to be like emotional, production-wise. The lyrics obviously are, but the production isn't. It's very pop. I love Antihero. Just saying. The 3 a.m. tracks made the album. I kind of agree with this. Like The Great War, Glitch, Paris, Would've, Could've, Should've, Dear Reader, High Infidelity. They're so good and really like what Midnights is to me. I really didn't like the Eras Collection Midnights look. There were so many stunning looks and they chose this. If you don't know, every era since Reputation, they have done this Eras Collection merge. Midnights, people really didn't like the look that they chose. I agree with this, but I like the look on its own. Imagine if they would have chosen like the after party look for the VMAs. Labyrinth is my least favorite song. I still enjoy it, but I will skip it if I'm not in the mood. I agree with this, but it's not my least favorite song. The thing I don't like is like the sirens at the end. You know what I'm talking about? It's like... The Great War is the best 3 a.m. track off the album. I agree. Obsessed with it. I used to not be, but it turns out I just didn't have taste. Midnights is the best pop album she's done. I'm also in love with this era. So I disagree because I think Reputation is the best pop album. I think it could be her second best pop album, next to Reputation. Dear Reader is an amazing closing song. Agree more than literally anything. I love Dear Reader so much. A lot of people don't appreciate this song and it just hurts me so bad because I love Dear Reader. The bridge, just every time I'm like how could someone not like that song? At first, I did not like Lavender Haze, but it's grown on me after listening to it more. Can't relate. I have loved Lavender Haze since the second I heard it. I love Lavender Haze, but I'm glad it grew on you because it's an amazing song. I have mixed feelings with High Infidelity. I kind of sort of agree and get this. I feel like it can be slightly boring until the bridge, but it is beautiful and the lyrics are great. Depends on the day. Okay, I think Sweet Nothing is really cute and lyrically amazing, but it's low-key a bit boring. You've heard me say this before. I think Sweet Nothing is a bit boring. Despite the lyrics being great and her and Joe writing it together so sweet, it is a tad boring, in my opinion. The hardest this is to say, Midnights is 100% better than Rep, coming from a long-time Rep stan. It takes a lot for Reputation to be topped, which Folklore did, but we're not going to talk about that. Folklore and Reputation will never go lower than spots number 1 and 2. That being said, I do disagree with this unpopular opinion, but respect it. Antihero is overrated. Antihero is overhyped. I don't really like Antihero. Antihero is literally such a good song. It's just so overplayed that now I don't even like it anymore. There are so many that say this, and like I'm kind of shocked. Like, is it overrated? Maybe, but only because it's a single. If it wasn't a single, people would not listen to it as much as they do now. That was a long explanation just to say like I disagree. I think objectively it's one of her best albums. It's experimental, the vocals are amazing, and lyrics are deep yet fun. However, it's still in 8th place in my album ranking just because I like her other albums better, and I feel guilty. I can sort of relate to this, not it being in my 8th spot for the album ranking, but it is like towards the middle. But I do think it is one of her best albums because the lyrics, everything about it I love, but it's not my favorite. Like, other albums are still above it, but also other albums are still below it. It's like right in the middle for me. I don't like the voice modifications she did in Dear Reader. This is like the one problem I have with this song. As you know, I love Dear Reader. Deep down, I truly love Dear Reader. But at the end of the song, you should find another guiding light, because I shine so bright. Imagine if it didn't have the low voice modification. It would have been so much better in my opinion, but I know a lot of people do love it. I think they used autotune too much. For example, at the end of Labyrinth and a little part of Question, I didn't really like. This is kind of another example of like Dear Reader, the voice modification. I do agree though. Other than Rep, it's her best pop album. Again, best is best is subjective. A lot of people say 1989 is her best album, which I'm not gonna argue with, but I'm also not gonna agree with. I don't know. Rep is number one, that's all I know. I don't like the album cover. I'm shocked. I really, really, really like the album cover. And when people don't like it, I'm like, why? Oh, or maybe you don't like the border. I could see that, but I actually love the border because she's never done anything like that. Like, it is kind of PixArt vibes, like when you click like border and then you can like resize the image inside to whatever you want. I like it. The only thing I would say is the font is a little bit boring. It's literally just like when you think of a font, you think of that font. Antihero is really good, and it being a single doesn't change that. It being a single did kind of change it for me, but I'm glad someone thinks differently. I really don't like Mastermind. Like, love the lyrics, but the sound of it, I don't know what it is. It's always a skip for me. This makes me so sad. Mastermind is top 5 on Midnights for me. Midnights is like the leftovers from all the other albums, and not in a good way. I'm just not even gonna comment on that. I disagree so much. I think that the Midnights merch is ugly. I like a few of the items, like the bejeweled bracelet is cute. I liked one of the shirts and one of the hoodies. Other than that, the Midnights merch has been not my favorite, let's just say that. I think that's ending on a good note. That being said, that is all the confessions that I'm going to read today. There were so many more, so if you want a part 2, I can definitely do that. If you want to be a part of future videos like this where I ask you to send me anonymous confessions or secrets, follow my Instagram. It is tswifttalk13. I post there like a lot. I also have a TikTok _all2notwell 13. I'll put them both on the screen. And if you're not sick of me yet, you can subscribe because I upload Taylor Swift content every single week. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or agreed with any of these. Also comment down below if you agreed or if you want to give me some of your own unpopular Midnights opinions. Anyways, I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week with a new video.